great season. Everything else is a bonus, but I'm sure that he really, really wants that bonus. So let's see if he can actually get there or not. In the top right side of Glittering Ashes to kick off the third best of 5 of the day, we are looking at the main base of the Polish Terran player representing Kaisi Gaming. It is Spirit.
And his opponent spawning down into the bottom left for Berserker Esports. It is ShaDoWn. I think there's a good chance. Oh, looks like we are going to see an engineering bay block coming out from Spirit here. So maybe not a proxy barracks, but something that's going to kind of give you a little bit of agency, kind of be a bit of a nuisance. I like this to start up a series. I think that's a good decision.
And ShaDoWn also scouting, by the way, for a proxy barracks near his main, so he was definitely thinking about it, but he does not find it on the left side, and he would have never found it because there isn't one. What he does see is this SCV show up immediately. It's kind of nice to have your probe here right on the get-go, because it means that this eBay should have a little less HP. He's getting a lot of hits off, but his probes are ready. And this is actually not the best eBay block of all time, but this is still 4 probes, not mining, right? So if Spirit is just looking to throw off the economy and the build order a little bit, he is accomplishing that, but I think he's hoping for a little more than he got so far.
Oh, and he won't be able to even prevent the gate nexus here. So that, yeah, I got to agree with you. I think that he was hoping for a little bit more, and that goes pretty nicely for ShaDoWn. He's going to be very happy. You know, obviously, you know, you have your build disrupted, like you said, but getting on top of it, that's a nice little, just tiny little mental win to start off the series. And the very, very first interaction that they have goes slightly in the favor of ShaDoWn. And now he's hiding something on his side of the map. Is this going to be DTs? Is this going to be Stargate? What do you think?
Could be a Stargate. I mean, DTs would be a little crazy. It's definitely possible, but I don't think if you want to go DTs, we even have to hide the Twilight Council, and I think it's a bit too early. So Stargate would make a lot of sense here, and maybe we try to get lucky with our first Oracle. If Spirit sends his units all to the natural, or even sends them to the other side of the map a little sooner than you're supposed to, maybe that first Oracle can find some success.
Yeah, the only unfortunate thing for this is that, you know, this is great against a Reaper Scout, where they look and they don't find anything in your base. Maybe they start getting a little bit panicky. In this case, it's not in a position where it's like heavily threatened. You don't expect that it's going to get picked off, but it's also going to be one of those things where, you know, you put your hand behind your back and you're like, oh, which hand is the ball in? And like the person you're trying to do the magic trick on is like turned the other direction, like they're not even looking at you.
I'm getting it.
Yeah, it was a weird analogy, but it's basically like he's trying to fake out his opponent, and there's no, like, Spirit's not even looking at him, you know? And just like it's like a weird situation where the misdirection is almost unnecessary, and it may not come to anything.
Nope. But the moment that this game ends, there's a good chance that Spirit presses the B button for a split second, wants to see what happened, and he's like, oh, okay, so that's what you're on about. Or maybe he's going to find the Stargate a little bit later. And it is still something that could come into the play for the rest of the series. Now, this is exactly what I was mentioning, though, where if Spirit sends his units to the other side of the map a little bit quicker than he's supposed to, these Marines and Hellions have potential, especially until the shield battery is done. But that Oracle also has a lot of potential, unless it flies into a Widow Mine. But the Widow Mines are not where they are supposed to be, so we are losing... well, not too many probes. We're going to lose 3 probes in total. Maybe the shield battery. That Oracle wasn't too shabby at all, though.
No, that's a very effective Oracle. Not only does it get 6 kills, it is going to also find out about the armory opening. So this was going to be that permanent cloak Widowmine setup that you were talking about, and that's going to allow ShaDoWn to build another Oracle. He's going to clean this up now. This is a great start here for ShaDoWn, and I am really, really liking his position.
Yep, no, he's going to be more than happy with this. And now at this point, this is very important. We don't do anything stupid. We are already ahead. Like, I don't even think we need to send... Why would we send the Oracles to the other side of the map right now, Steadfast? I don't get it, mate. We had such a good start. He has killed way more than he lost at home. You know about the armory too, because your Oracle was right above it. Like, this is the way that you throw away a massive lead. Because now these Oracles are not here to help out with Revelations or Pearls or Beams. And Spirit, even though he does this build so often, ooh, that Widowmine could...
Oh, no!
What was that? He lifted the Stalker?
He did. He lifted the wrong unit. Oh, and he's going to get a huge shot right there. 6 probes going down in total. Yeah, this was not supposed to happen this way.
Nope,
It's exactly as you mentioned. The only thing I can think of is he didn't actually click the armory or something.
Yeah, but even if he didn't, like, I would still like to have my units at home, even if it's a regular Widowmine drop, because you need the DPS, right? You need the target fire. Maybe you do still need one revelation, because you don't even want to throw away a single probe. I mean, Spirit... Oh, he's going to kill Oracle. Yep, oh my goodness. Kills an Oracle, deals a lot of damage to the Phoenix. The other mines are still here. Now there's already the second wave of Widow mines, man. This is a disaster for ShaDoWn, and it really, really, really did not have to be. I mean, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
Oh. God, the Steph Curry Widow Mine from downtown, getting that huge connection right there. And I was saying about a minute and a half ago, that I love ShaDoWn's position. Now I couldn't hate it more. This is a brutal position that he finds himself in. Oh, wow. Wow, no, he can't actually get away with that, right? Okay, yeah, it goes down. That was a little bit of fancy micro that...
There's still a mine in the natural. Mine in the natural is going to fire again. And love the target there, yep. I mean, this is a ridiculous amount of damage. It's game-ending damage. Spirit does this over and over again. He's going to kill the second Oracle. Are you joking? What is happening? I mean, ShaDoWn is laughing at this point, where he's like, well, that could not have gone any worse, and it actually all went. And it really all starts with him sending the 2 Oracles to the other side of the map when he really didn't need to. He was in a lovely spot. And even if you take a little bit of damage, you lose some mining time, you lose a couple probes, it's all acceptable. Now it has just turned into game-ending damage as the mine in the natural fires again. I mean, it's not even a 7-minute game, and we have lost 33 probes. Are you joking?
He's lost almost as many probes as he has on the map right now. And the brutal part about this is that he lost all of his detection.
Yeah.
So he rebuilds the Oracle now to try and prevent additional shots. And this is going to fire again. Oh, no. No. Even 1 or 2 more probes right now is brutal. And another 2 probes go down. This is a nightmare situation for ShaDoWn.
Yep, I mean, there is absolutely nothing going his way. Spirit is rallying a couple of units to the other side of the map. He doesn't really have to do it at this point, but he's probably like, man, you've lost not just a lot of pros, but you actually lost Phoenixes and Oracles too. Or at least the Phoenixes are better than Bruce. I actually don't think you really have anything that I should be very worried about. And he is not wrong. I mean, this army is, I think, kind of unstoppable. If the Robo Bay is not done, we just don't have anything really that strong at this point. All we have are basic gateway units without blink, without charge. He does find a Viking, but even that Viking, oh my goodness, kills a Phoenix, and now he lands the Viking, so that Viking can actually die unless we activate Pulsar Beam. Well, a disaster game 1 for ShaDoWn.
Yeah, and it started out so good for him. Absolutely amazing start for him. It couldn't really have gone that much better in like a reasonable sense. And then you said it best. Sending those Oracles across the map straight up lost in the game. That is brutal. And even to cap that off, he made like a couple of defensive misplays. You know, he stacked up some of his probes in the main. There was that one probe or one Widowmine shot at the natural that felt like it reached just a little farther than it normally does.
Yeah, the worst part about all of it as well is that if your units are not in the right position the first time that the medevac shows up with the 4 mines, then the mines will get a perfect split as well. So you don't have that scenario where it's like 3 mines in the single mineral line and then 1 mine into the main base. No, now Spirit was just able to unload 1 in the middle of the mineral line, unload 1 at the bottom of the ramp, unload 1 at the top of the ramp, and 1 in the main base mineral line. And by the time that you're done cleaning that up with your Oracles that were all the way on the other side of the map have to come back, the second one shows up, and then the third one shows up. And the moment that the Widow Mines also start connecting with your Oracles, I mean, ShaDoWn was just laughing at the one point where it's just like, well, don't know how we got here, but I know it ain't good.
Yeah, that not making me feel too great about my prediction right now, I gotta say. But that is the kind of thing where the fact that he's laughing is actually a pretty good sign, because it means that, you know, like, it would be so easy to just like start smashing your keyboard at that point, because you had such a you had such a great spot, and then it like the train derailed so damn hard. So for him to be like, you know, in a good mindset after that it's a good sign for the rest of the series at the very least, or at least it's not a bad sign.
Yeah, no, I do think ShaDoWn is a very chill guy, and I think he's already very happy that he made it into the playoffs. So, like I said earlier, basically everything from here on out is a bonus. But if that bonus is within reach, and you go up against a Terran player while you've arguably already defeated the best TVP player in Europe in the group stage, Hey, you don't just start dreaming about that bonus. You want that bonus, and you want that truly epic, memorable run that we'll be talking about for a long time. When I saw one Oracle turn around, I was like, man, that's not needed. You've already done so much. Like, but okay. Then I see the second Oracle fight to the other side of the map, and I'm like, no, why are we doing that? Also, why are we doing this? Let's talk about that. Game 2, Berlin Ground in the top left side. We're looking at the main base of the man who has found more success with those permanently cloaked with the mines than any other Terran in Europe in this season of the DreamHack Masters Valencia Regionals. This is Spirit.
And his opponent, spawning down on the bottom right for Berserker Esports, it is ShaDoWn, and it looks like, is this a max packs? I think this is a max packs, yeah?
Oh, there are some very crazy things that we can do with it, but yeah, it seems like it's just going to be, well, wasn't max packs the traditional pylon into pylon gateway? I think there is always one pylon at home, right? So I think this is slightly different, but we'll see.
I think you're right. Yeah, it might be a little bit of a twist on it, because you definitely build that cybernetics core at home. You usually go gate Nexus. Sometimes you can go gate cyber. You got a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of decisions to be made with the traditional max packs, and I'm very interested to see what he can do with this. And Spirit is the kind of player who will skip a scout from here, from time to time. So this is the kind of thing that could absolutely pay off for ShaDoWn.
Yeah. Let's see where we are going. I mean, obviously, last game, the SCV was actually very early to the other side of the map because of the eBay block. Maybe ShaDoWn was hoping for something similar, and he would actually feel that his build would shape up very nicely against that. There was no Reaper last game. It was just straight Marines. This time around, it's straight Marines too. With a CC on the low ground, this could get dicey. Well, let's see what the follow-up of Spirit is going to be, but at this point, he still doesn't know. And if we don't get a bunker, it is going to be pretty much impossible to keep that CC alive. He drops the factory, and he still hasn't built a second barracks unit. Yeah, this can actually get very bad for Spirit. I mean, this scout is good.
Okay, he's going to see the Zealot very quickly. If he'd moved that Marine out a little bit too far and the Zealot was coming in from the other side, he could have just been, pinched off from his natural kind of. As it is, though, this is going to get really annoying, and I think this should be a canceled command center.
Yeah, I think you're right. But there is still just one Marine. And this is actually really bad, man, because he has one Marine, but his one Marine is not in the main base. So we actually have no firepower on the other side of this supply depot wall. Now, with good repairs, we're always going to be okay. But this is indeed a bit of a disaster scenario for Spirit. But hey, last game, it also looked like a bit of a disaster. And a minute later, it looked like the game was all but locked up. And it pretty much was. So maybe he can still turn this into something, but that CC is already cancelled. Now I guess the main job is let's not lose too many SCVs. So, micro a little bit, and that's exactly what he's doing. Once the two Marines and the Withermine are out, we are kind of okay. Still not a pretty start.
Oh, does he go for the... Okay. I was going to say, does he go for the trick to try and bait out the Withermine shot? The thing is, with a bunker and two Marines out there, it's not really going to be able to do too much anyways. Oh, he's going to go for the recall instead of... Goes for the recall instead of just, using his probes to kill that off. I don't know. What do you think about that? I feel like you could have used probes.
Maybe, but what is he still going to get done on the other side of the map? Like, once the bunker is up, once the Withermine is up, he already canceled the CC, so maybe he's just kind of happy with what he accomplished, and he prefers to have the units at home at this point.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'm thinking more so in terms of, like, having your recall on cooldown, although that's not too big of a deal in the early game, but losing out on a chrono boost is, you'd rather have that back if you could.
Yeah, for sure. But maybe he also felt that if 4 or 5 probes and not mining, and he ends up losing 2, that's going to hurt a whole lot more than a chrono. So I don't think I don't think it's too bad for ShaDoWn. And obviously after last game, like, let's not take any unnecessary risk, right? After we had a potentially great start and it turned into an absolute disaster. Now once more, I think we have a solid start. Letting this, he's going to try to warp in 1 unit at home, but that's not going to work. I think overall Spirit handled this about as well as he could have, given the place that he was in, because he was in a bit of a disaster spot with only 1 Marine, no second barracks unit, no bunker on the low ground. Like, this was, the bare minimum this opening was always going to accomplish of ShaDoWn.
Yeah. No, this was absolutely, I think, the best it could have been handled for Spirit. ShaDoWn is going to be going for a 4-gate Blinks No, never mind. No, he is. Yeah. Fourth gate on the way. 4-gate Blink Stalker, but it's going to be with a third Nexus here. So a little bit of a kind of a throw off a little bit. Like, there will, of course, be the opportunity to transition, but this is going to be looking to get a fair bit of damage done. Now, this is a really funky situation. The Banshees are not going to help defensively, but if you slip them on the other side of the map and ShaDoWn is not ready for them, they could get a lot of damage done.
Exactly. And then sometimes when that happens, you actually get a bit triggered as a Protoss, and you're like, all right, I'm just going to send it, and then you make a blink that you really shouldn't have made because you're kind of annoyed that you're taking some damage on your side of the map. There is a Widowmine there. Very awkward spot. Widowmine connects with a Stalker, and that's already annoying for ShaDoWn. Could have, of course, blinked that Stalker away, but he did not pay attention, did not expect the Widowmine there. Could have gone for the bunker, but felt that he had not the right amount of units to really gun it down. I feel like this is going to hurt, though, right? Because we have no shield battery in the natural, no shield battery in the main base, and that Banshee is... I love how early he cloaked. Because now the very first time that ShaDoWn is going to realize is when his probes are already being attacked.
Yeah, and I think this should force out... okay, it's not going to force out a recall. It's going to force out an aggressive move. He will take down the bunker, and he's going to blink forward, will get the tank. There is a second tank on the high ground. The missile turret at the natural, obviously being used to deal with DTs, but it will push the missile turret away a little bit. Oh, this Banshee at home on the other side of the map. Okay, just the Warpins will handle that Banshee. And there is an observer here, so these Banshees are not going to get... I mean, the 8 probes is really, really nice, but it could have been so much worse.
Yep, but ShaDoWn, it does feel like he wants more, though, because he's now looking probably at his work account. He's like, 37, that's not great. But I do know that you lost 2 Banshees, so he's going to blink into the main base. There is 1 tank already sieged, and the other one is going to siege up in the back. Are we going to blink on top of that tank? But if he blinks on top of the tank that's above the barracks, the other tank will be in range. I feel once more we are playing with fire here. Well, if he would have just played a defensive game, scouted with the observers, he would have been in a great spot. Instead, he really wants to make magic happen with these Stalkers, but a lot of them are damn low on HP. This is not working out so far.
No, it certainly is not. And Spirit is... he's in a really good spot right now. He's got his 3rd orbital done. ShaDoWn is going to start triple building probes. He's going back into worker production. But like you said, he's not in a comfortable spot. And Spirit's going to have his stim, his +1 weapons coming online very, very soon. Unless a snipe on stim comes in, which, no, he doesn't feel confident to go for it. And I think, yeah, he's got to be really careful. He's walking himself into a bit of a corner right here. Yeah,
no, this is going to hurt, man, especially with stim close to finishing up. But even without stim, this many Marines with +1 already, they probably will feel like, hey, we can fight this. And I absolutely think that the Marines could have fought it with a bit of medevac healing. Stalkers are going to try to sneak out once more. 1 Stalker was left behind. Saves it in the end. Spirit immediately picks up 8 Marines, but those 8 Marines are going to be revealed by that prism. That's actually a very big deal. Both players are now aware. Oh, Stalkers could blink. Stalkers could blink. That's big. That's very big.
That's a really, really nice pickoff right there for ShaDoWn. Really kind of gives him like a bit of mental breathing room, I think. Because he lost 13 Stalkers during that bit of aggression. Like, that's a lot of units to lose. I also want to highlight something. The positioning on that tank was so good. We don't see it now, but it's right about at the bottom. We are going to see this little bit of Stalker harassment coming on, and this is a nice maneuver. This is something that MaxPax loves to do, and it's a really, really strong play if you have great micro, and we're seeing some pretty darn good micro coming out of ShaDoWn. He doesn't bait out the Widowmine. Would have been nice to get the kill there, but still, he's going to be a nuisance with that, and it's going to get some decent damage done. But yeah, sorry, that 1 tank was so well positioned from Spirit. It really locked down just a ton of the main base and made it so that ShaDoWn couldn't, poke forward and get a lot done.
I think if it wasn't for the fact that Spirit donated those 8 Marines and that medevac, if he would have sent it out towards the bottom left, I think it had a lot of potential and it could have absolutely secured almost a game-winning advantage. Now, I still feel it's a game, but it's a game that I definitely favor Spirit in, as he's only down 3 workers. We all know that's very good for the Terran if they have triple orbital. ShaDoWn doesn't even have a forge yet. The 2 forges are finishing up now, but upgrade-wise is going to be an underwhelming Protoss army. And even the Robo Bay was relatively late. Should get a cancel on the 4CC though. But it's just, right now, it's like, it looks close, but I actually think that Spirit is in a really sweet spot.
Yeah, if ShaDoWn can survive for a little bit longer, gets up to extended thermal lance, gets up to 3 Colossus, gets up to 1/1 upgrades, he can be in a very good spot. Ooh, with a mind drop coming in from Spirit. ShaDoWn not responding. Oh no, 16 probes. Okay, well, hold that thought. Now in a minute's time or 2 minutes time, Spirit's still going to be in a great spot.
Yeah, I mean, even just this army, man. This army is quite powerful. We do have 2 Immortals and a Colossus and 15 Stalkers. So if they're all in the right place, yeah, okay, that's going to be fine. Spirit steams forward. Maybe feels that this is his moment to actually get in range with the Nexus. A couple of slow Zealots get picked off. The Colossus do not have that extended thermal engine. Bit of friendly fire there, I believe, on the Widow Mine. So at least that worked out. But now more probes going down as 1 mine was still able to fire. 2 mines even still able to fire. It's not ShaDoWn his series so far. And in both games, he actually had the opportunity to be in a really good spot. But by trying to be more aggressive than he needed to be, in this game with the Blink Stalkers, in last game with the Oracles, that advantage completely slipped away. And he started fighting himself behind.
Yeah. Oh, man, these Widow Mines. Okay, they will get denied before they fire again. Very important that he at least does that. Speaking of being, like, overly aggressive, I actually feel like Spirit might have been a little bit overly aggressive right after he gets a bunch of probe damage. He decides to push, and even if, you know, he did have a lot of potential there, it's kind of counterintuitive for the RTS, you know, game plan.
Yeah,
right after you did a bunch of damage to go for an attack anyways, especially since you split off a little bit of your army. Widow Mines don't have a ton of fighting power, but they are better than nothing.
No, but I still didn't hate it too much because he didn't bring the tanks or something, right? So it's not, ooh, that War Prism, by the way, War Prism in a very dicey spot. It will live. ShaDoWn still has no Turbulence, and he must have absolutely forgot about that. It has been a bit of a chaotic game. Widow Mines found more economic damage. He's still on 68 probes, and he's now going into Disruptors. I mean, in the old days, that was a trick where we made like 1 Colossus, but then we didn't make any Colossus anymore. We went straight into Storm, and we're like, haha, you have all those Vikings. I don't think that's really the plan this time around. That Planetary is very close to finishing up. It will finish up. This is not a fight that ShaDoWn can take. Look at that Colossus. It's so damn low on HP. 1 Viking shot is going to do it. And the rest of this Protoss army is just really underwhelming.
Yeah, he absolutely could not be there. As soon as the mass repair went down and the Planetary finished, he should have 100% backed away. No chance he wants to take that fight. But he sticks around a little bit too long, leaves one of his Colossi hanging. It does survive for a moment, but the Marauders got so much damage done that, yeah, that Viking just easily comes in and picks it off. ShaDoWn, he's getting into 2-2 upgrades, but there's going to be a significant timing lead where Spirit has 2-2 versus his opponent's 1-1, and it is going to be very difficult to deal with. The only thing he's got to be really mindful of is these Disruptors.
Yeah, and we have seen what ShaDoWn is capable of with them Disruptors in his games against Clam. But in those games, you really did feel that the tempo and momentum was always on his side. This time around, he's just not able to really get a sequence of events going his way. Once more in range of a Planetary here. This is also questionable because his army is just not that great. Maybe if we land some good Novas, then we can all get away with it. And he's even already firing up +1 air weapons, by the way. So it really did feel that Colossus are not actually part of his game plan, where he's just like, no, I make 2 Colossus because I need an answer against Marines with Stim. But after that, I'm just going to go into Disruptors as quickly as possible. And maybe some carriers down the line, because he has done a very good job in rebuilding his economy. He's up to 82 workers now.
Yeah, he's and this is why I showed so much confidence in him, even with the early game going really poorly. Hold that thought. We are going to see an attack coming on in, but he realizes, yeah, I can't really get too much done. That Colossus surviving with 2 HP. The thing is, there are a lot of Vikings to deal with these Colossi. Like 6 Vikings, it's not a huge commitment, but it's a reasonably significant commitment for just 2 non-extended thermal lance Colossi.
Yeah, that's for sure, but they might come in handy as well if all the Stargates finish up, because we've got 3 Stargates being wiped in at once, and Spirit has loaded up 3 medevacs towards the top right side. It's going to pull the entire army out of position. I like that scan, you know, just because he didn't see it anymore on his side of the map. He saw that those units left the range of the sensor tower. So let's play it safe and let's not lose 3 medevacs full of units, especially because there's some precious cargo in there. We're looking at 3 ghosts and a couple of Marauders too. It's not just those Marines from the early game.
Yeah, we do have ShaDoWn. He was kind of hunting for these medevacs, but he lost track of them a little bit. I don't think he has any vision on those 3 medevacs. He's going to try and go in on a planetary fortress that is trying to morph in. This is a lot of chaos coming in. We do see a bit of a surround coming in, but good job from Spirit there, avoiding those disruptor shots. Now, the Immortals with 2-2 are going to help him hold, and actually going to be a really great fight right there for ShaDoWn. He takes down a base, but he will lose a base and a lot of workers on his side of the map.
Yeah, 3 fights happening at once, and you can say that 2 of them went good for ShaDoWn, and only 1 went bad, and that's the one where he's losing all these probes, and he lost that Nexus. Now we do see a little recall used on that army that was in the top side. That was a very good one, because it did take out a couple of units, and it took out the planetary fortress. Now we're going back into Colossus, and if we go back into Colossus, please, please, please get your thermal lenses, medevacs! Okay, well, at least one of them goes down with 4 units inside of it. I mean, Spirit's economy has just been better, man. 6 goals at a time, and that just goes to show that he is rich. And ShaDoWn, like, it doesn't make too much sense to build 3 Stargates, a fleet beacon, and now we're going back into Colossus, and then we still don't have that crucial upgrade. It's not really lining up, is it?
It's not all that great for him, but I mean, losing one of his bases and so many probes does make you feel like you can't afford to do that much. As long as he gets extended thermal lance, I actually like the switch back into Colossus a lot, because, you know, Spirit did lose a couple of, oh my god, avoiding that observer avoiding the scan. Does it have it does have observer speed, so that observer speed coming in really handy right there. The main problem right now for me is that ShaDoWn can't afford to get into 3-3. He's getting +2 air weapons, though.
Yeah.
That is so bizarre.
It's a little bit of everything. I mean, clearly the man is dreaming of carriers, and a lot of Protoss players dream of carriers against Terrans. I do think that Spirit is actually not super afraid of them. I think we know that he has excellent late game, and the man loves his sensor towers, as we can see on the minimap. Finally, we do take care of those 2 pesky medevacs that has been hovering around the top right side. But while this is happening, nice EMP on all those Dark Templars. A couple of them get sniped as well. We have cannons and a battery overcharge to try to buy some time for the main army to show up. But ShaDoWn is losing a lot of very expensive units here. And now even a tank is going to siege up. It still just does not look good for the French Protoss.
No, he's going to lose this base. He's going to be forced to attack up a ramp. Now, I think Spirit needs to get out of here. There are way too many Colossus that he just doesn't have an answer for. But as long as he can retreat on out with the majority of this army, which he will be able to do, that is a great sequence for Spirit. Oh, ShaDoWn does not want to attack down the ramp right here. Disruptors getting a couple of ghosts as they go flying. Gets, I think, 3 ghosts with that disruptor shot. Still, it's amazing to me that the supplies are so even.
Yeah, no, that was like, I mean, the final Nova, that was really big, but I'm shocked that he didn't realize he does not have thermal lens after 4 Colossus are standing at the top of the ramp, like, one shot. It's like, no. Normally, those Colossus are just wailing away from the back of your army. You think that he noticed by now, but maybe a couple of the nerfs coming into play as the Disruptors are in range of a tank shot. A nice forward stim there by Spirit on just a couple of those units to get a few more hits off. I am very worried for ShaDoWn, even though he is maybe soon to be a 4-base Protoss again. He's got +3. He's got a couple of DTs with a Shadow Stride. But his army is just not good, especially not without thermal lens. It's really, really underwhelming. It really comes down to the Disruptors, because it is hit or miss. And if those shots miss, the rest of the army is going to get obliterated.
Yeah, it's going to be a really, really ugly fight. We will see an EMP on a couple of the DTs. I think he just dropped 2 EMPs for that. So, oh no, actually he EMP'd his own ghost. Actually.
Yeah.
That's a little bit unfortunate, but shouldn't be too impactful. We are going to see a base trade here, but Spirit just has more bases for ShaDoWn to go through. That being said, I do like that he comes in with the double prong. Oh, nice EMP on those probes. I don't know. I don't know how ShaDoWn is supposed to win this base trade.
Same. I think he's going to have a very hard time even just making his way into the main base. There aren't too many units in the main base now, so if he goes immediately, he might be able to get on top of the production. +3 on the Forge. I mean, that could be interesting. A Nova from the high ground, but Spirit is paying attention. Well done. Very well done there by Spirit, because these are the kind of Novas that could actually turn a game like this upside down. No +3 for all these Stalkers, all these Colossus, and these Colossus are still so clumsy. Nice Nova, though. Let's see if the Liberators can siege up.
Yeah, it's all about taking as much of a tax as you can on this army. Oh, I'd love target fire on that one Colossus. Not gonna get it, but still going to make ShaDoWn pay a bit of a heavy toll going into that base. And we gotta note, There's only 8 probes on the map. Where are they right now?
Top right side.
Okay, they sneaked up to the top right. We've got a planetary fortress there on that top right. Okay, it's going to be a recall to this base. ShaDoWn will get a couple of units here. And how many kills did that DT get, I wonder?
Yeah, a couple. That was actually warped in a while ago. It was a slow warp in, basically, in range of the mineral line. I mean, look at the investment of all these Stargates, the Fleet Beacon, the +2, and never just coming into play. A couple of Novas go forward, somewhat of a decent connection. Second one, not that much. These Colossus are so clumsy without the most important upgrade. This Terran army is way bigger, way more powerful than the Protoss army, and this is going to do it. No GG gets called. ShaDoWn a lot less happy with this one than he was about the previous one, and Spirit takes the 2-0 lead.
Yeah, Spirit just looking a lot more comfortable overall during most of the stages of that game, particularly the base trade. He is no stranger to base trading, and ShaDoWn might have been thinking, you know what, I'm behind, maybe I can throw him off guard, but Spirit handled that perfectly, and he just beelined straight for his opponent's main, got a ton of damage done, was able to set up defensively enough to kind of break a lot of the power of his opponent's army. Very, very well played from Spirit right there. And ShaDoWn, he has to go back to the drawing board, I think.
Yeah, but it once more all starts with him going for the 4 gateway Blink Stalker opening after he had a pretty successful start with his little proxy gate. We get a cancel on the CC. A lot of SCVs were not mining because they were forced to repair those depots in the front. Like, it was all fine. But then, because we go up to 3 bases and we want to be aggressive, we make ourselves a lot more vulnerable at home. And that first Banshee already gets 8 kills. And I already said it before it started. That actually annoys Protoss players. And they're like, well, all right, if you have a Banshee, then I can definitely find success with the Stalkers. And we make a Blink. Yeah, he got 1 tank, he got the bunker, but he never really quite got the damage that he was looking for. And you mentioned it at one point, 13 Stalkers went down after what is supposed to just be a poke. A nuisance while we are macroing at home. Like, losing 13 Stalkers just makes your follow-up a lot slower, a lot weaker, and then obviously sounding like a broken record, but forgetting the most important upgrade while making a grand total of 7 or 8 Colossus is also very painful.
Yeah, and the fact that I don't know if you mentioned it during that, you mentioned it a couple of times throughout the game, but not making use of all those Stargates, the +2 weapons. Yeah. I don't know if he got a Fleet Beacon or not.
Yeah, he had it.
He did. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So he was on what, like 4 Stargates?
No, triple Stargate, Fleet Beacon, and +2. Like, we're looking at more than 1,000 gas there easily, and more than 1,000 minerals probably. Like, yeah, it's painful when you make all those investments and you didn't get a single unit out of it.
Yeah, it's a game plan that works very well if you can keep the Terran on their side of the map for the entire game. But that triple drop really broke ShaDoWn's stride, and from then on, it was Spirit, top to bottom. And we have spawning up at the top right for Berserker Esports, it is ShaDoWn.
In the bottom left side, we're looking at the main base of the man trying to break into the top 12. And a lot of fans out there will say that this man absolutely deserves to be in the top 12 of any all-European tournament. It is the Polish Terran player, Spirit.
This is very surprising. We've got Spirit. He cut an SCV, maybe even 2, in order to get a very, very quick proxy racks. He went for a 13 depot with this. This is a pretty committed proxy 2 racks right here. I feel like we never see that in TVP where you cut the SCVs as well.
No, I mean, then he might even pull some boys from home as well, right? And he'd be very, very committed, because I think you always want to get a couple of bunkers with this too. Now, ShaDoWn in the previous games did check a little bit for proxies. He's going to go to the left. He should actually see this. I think he is going to see this, and that's so big. Yep, he sees it. Oh. That's very, very, very big, because now you can actually just go Cybercore before Nexus, and you can Chrono Boost the hell out of your first Stalker. And I think it should be a Stalker. Yeah, he's going to even go double gateway. I think it's quite smart. Yep. Wow. Great scout, man. Really, really great scout.
Yeah, no, that's him being rewarded right here. And I have to question the decision-making from Spirit just a little bit to go for a proxy after you've had 2 games going so well for you. Yeah, but it feels like it's the kind of thing where you just give your opponent some potential momentum.
Yeah, but
if
you
they do manage
mentioned
to do it.
the Nexus before Cybercore, right? And I actually think
Yes.
that if you would go Nexus before Cybercore against this build, you're in serious trouble. So, I don't hate the choice, just unfortunate that ShaDoWn scouted it. Now, getting this bunker up would still be very nice, because then you can actually fully load it with 4 Marines. And then even if you won't do any damage in the main base, it's going to be very annoying. Like, ShaDoWn does not want to see this bunker finish up, that's for sure.
No, and he's pulling a lot of probes to make sure that it doesn't. A nice target fire on that one Zealot, getting a lot of damage done. Very good micro. And this is, I mean, we will eventually see this cleaned up, but it's going to be a long time before it is able to be cleaned up. And it even gets the denial on the shield battery, which means clearing up this bunker is going to take even longer. This is a scary situation, and I don't think this can be battery overcharged from the Nexus, right?
Look at
It's not close enough to qualify as, like, being in range to get the double energy.
Supply block as well, by the way. ShaDoWn already canceled the Stalker. Now he builds it again, but he's like, damn it, I'm still 30 out of 31, or well, at least he made one more probe. It's all very painful. This should have been really good for ShaDoWn after scouting it that quickly. I personally think that the second gateway is a bit of an overreaction. I think it would have made a lot more sense to just drop the Cybercore ASAP, which was delayed ever so slightly at this point. You get one Zealot, you fight with Zealot probes. It's okay to lose a couple probes if you do not take any damage from this, and you can just expand afterward. Oh no, don't lose Stalkers.
Oh. Yeah, I think this side. Okay, yeah, he's building another shield battery. This was supposed to be a little bit further back and in range of the Nexus for a battery overcharge. Oh man, this is a really brutal situation, considering how good it could have been for ShaDoWn and how good it probably should have been. In this case, I mean, you never want to do it, but you almost feel like you have to do something on one base.
You know what the craziest thing is? That this wasn't even the biggest investment ever from Spirit. He made 8 Marines, and 5 Marines just very casually went home. There's 3 Marines inside of the bunker. Now battery overcharge gets activated, and right on that moment, Spirit said like, all right, man, I had enough of it. I am more than happy. And now if you're ShaDoWn, this is so damn awkward, because you have a double gate opening. But what can you do with double gate if you don't have a Twilight, if you don't have a Robo, you don't have a Stargate? Like, it's just there. It's like, all right, I have 2 gateways and 2 shield batteries. He's going to send units to the other side of the map. Now, double expanding, I don't hate, because you need to do something at this point. If you don't do anything crazy from here on out, you are going to lose this game. He knows that, so I think the double expand is very smart.
I think it's a great decision as well. I think it's a really good way to try and take back some agency in this game. But unfortunately for him, not only was the natural expansion scouted by a hidden Marine from Spirit, so he knows it's not some kind of one-base response, he's also going to see the very quick third Nexus with this Widow Mine drop, and he's going to be able to potentially get some damage done with this in a situation where ShaDoWn really can't afford to take any.
Nope. Widow Mines will make it into the main. Please spool immediately, and at least we do that. Oh, I love the Umbro. I can at least kill a sentry, and the other one is running towards all the probe. No, that is so risky. Oh, retargeting now
the
as well.
retarget?
Yeah, it's very sweet.
Oh, okay. That could have been so much worse. That could have been so much worse. But it is still pretty bad for ShaDoWn. He is not too happy about it. We do have to mention, though, it's not like Spirit's on a roaring economy right now. He's just starting to land his natural expansion, and ShaDoWn is on 3 next eye. The stim just now started up. You know, ShaDoWn's very much in a playable position.
Yeah, it's definitely playable, but I would not love it, and I'm sure that ShaDoWn does not love it either, because it's not like we have 2 forges on the way already or a robotics facility. Okay, we do have a robo, by the robo bay, I mean. So it's just like, okay, we have a robotics facility, we have an observer, but Blink is very late. Like, we're going to have like an 8-minute charge in this game. I'm almost afraid that he's going to be forced to play some Zealot Stalker for a while, because I don't know if you can really transition into Colossus with the start that he's had. So I think it looks better. If you just look at the numbers, you're like, oh, this isn't too bad for the Protoss. But if you actually look at all the timings of the tech structures and whatnot, it doesn't look too hot for the French Protoss.
Yeah, certainly not. And to highlight your... Oh, this Viking in the main base. Nice harass right here from Spirit. I mean, it's little chip damage. It's not going to get, game-winning damage, but it's certainly going to keep him ahead. And actually, he's going to be able to grab a lot of probes right here.
Wow.
6 probes. Can he get a 7th? No, not quite. But man, that is really, really well done. Oh, and this Widow Mine drop. Okay, it is going... Oh, it gets a Stalker just before Blink completes. Everything for ShaDoWn just is not working out the way he wants it to. And he's playing... He was planning to play Pure Zealot Stalker with a really, really low gas count. I mean, he doesn't even have charge, though, is the big problem.
Yeah. The good news is the charge doesn't take too long. So if you just chrono boost the hell out of it now, we buy a tiny bit of time. But yeah, this is also what I kind of mentioned when it came to the tech and the timing of the tech buildings, where Spirit had the potential to find more damage if he wanted to. And he decided to do that with just a single Viking. ShaDoWn's units are all over the place. Oh no, man, this is painful. As 2 more stalkers get picked off by a tank. It's a bit of a disaster series. It does not look like the man who had that super beautiful clean 2-0 over Clem with a couple of cheeky builds, hit a Nexi, and a plan from start to finish. I mean, Spirit definitely had the plan from start to finish. And for ShaDoWn, it felt like we had a good start in game 1. And after that, almost everything that could have gone wrong in the remaining games went wrong.
Yeah, if he has charge right now, I actually think he's totally, like, okay. With the battery overcharge, you go in, you get on top of this army, and you handle it not too poorly. But he doesn't have that, and like you said, it comes down to the tech. There's a lot of subtle things in a game of StarCraft 2, and Spirit kills the third base. ShaDoWn rightfully leaves it. He doesn't try and contest it, but that just means he falls even further behind. He's going to try and fight. Slow Zealots are the saddest thing in a game, and Spirit, he's just going to kite to a devastating victory here. And ShaDoWn, he is going to type out the GG well played, but that's a rough